Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. Amma ba'd. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, as you know, a few days ago we had announced that the Jumu'ah Salah would be suspended indefinitely due to the risks involving the coronavirus and to protect the vulnerable of our community as well as the wider community in general. And as we had said, that we have to keep updated with the latest guidelines from the CDC and from the expert physicians in this regard. That being said, earlier today, just a couple of hours ago, we had received the recommendations from the CDC limiting gatherings of 50 or more people. And this is for the betterment of the community and to protect those who are vulnerable from this disease and from this ailment. So that being said, as many other masajid have done around the country, we have decided to take the further step of suspending the 5 daily salah in Darul Islam Masjid as well as Masjid BILAL indefinitely. And my brothers and sisters, this was a decision that we did not take lightly by any means, trust me. In fact, we're the last people who would want to shut the masjid down. But that being said, this is something in which, alhamdulillah, our Sharia has guidelines, and we are able to consult with experts in this regard, and it is something for the preservation of life and the sanctity of life. We felt that we must take this step for the protection of our congregants. And alhamdulillah, this is something that, when it comes to the 5 daily salah, we are able to perform these prayers at home. And our Sharia, with regards to Jummah, it gives us, as we said last week, it gives us the rukhsa and the allowance to either pray 4 rak'ah of dhuhr, or if people have enough numbers in their own homes, they can pray Jummah in their own homes as well. So that being said, you know, this is again a step that was extremely difficult for us to take, but it's a step that we have to take for the betterment of our community. As for when we will resume the prayers, we cannot say right now. This is indefinite. So we have to keep updated with the guidelines, inshallah, and we hope that this test is taken away from us sooner rather than later, inshallah. So please keep updated with us, and we will keep on updating you periodically as we go along taking this particular measure. Inshallah, Sheikh Hamzah, our resident scholar, would like to also say a few words.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. I think Mufti Asif covered the important things that needed to be said. The only thing that I would kind of add on to that is that this is something that was not taken, this decision was not taken just by us or just by the Shura. This was, we sat down together, we've been on conference calls the whole day, kind of trying to figure out what it is that we need to do, what is the right step for the community. And myself and Mufti Asif, we consulted a number of scholars across the US, outside of the US. We read through the resolutions passed by other scholarly councils, and then the Shura was there. They've been, really talking with the county and figuring that part out. Then we had Muslim physicians from our own community and other experts in infectious diseases and other important fields. We've all kind of come together, and this is a joint decision after many, many hours of talking and back and forth and trying to find the right decision to make. And we hope, inshallah, this is the right decision, and this is in line with the Islamic guidelines. And tomorrow, inshallah, in our webinar, I'll speak a bit about it. But the reality is that Islam is a pragmatic religion, and it understands the needs and the realities of a particular society and a particular time. This is not something that goes against Islam, rather it is a part of Islam. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "La darara wa la dirar," there is no harm and there is no reciprocation of harm. And the preservation of life takes precedence over anything else. And it is in line with that we've taken this decision. If we put our community members at risk, and the risk level is very, very, very high, all of these people that are coming, we make our masjid the place where this kind of virus kind of goes out, and it's really the source of it, then really we're endangering ourselves, and Islam does not ask us to endanger ourselves. As a closing point, I want to say that this this does not mean that we have stopped worshipping Allah. This, just because we can't come to the masjid, this is a trial from Allah, and Allah knows best what is the wisdom of this trial. But perhaps He is trying to try us and see, do we turn back to Him? Do we still remember Him? Or now that the masjid is shut off, we simply turn away from our prayers, we simply turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of my teachers very beautifully, he said, describing when someone asked that the Kaaba is relatively empty, and Allah is not being worshipped anymore. So what is that, how do we really understand that? So he said something profound. He said that Allah is showing us that we don't worship the Kaaba. We go to the Kaaba to worship Allah. At the end of the day, if we're praying in the masjid, or if our circumstances are such that we're praying in our houses, at the end of the day, we are worshipping Allah wherever we are. We come to the masjid, alhamdulillah, we love the masjid. Now we're in a situation we can't come, that doesn't mean that we stop worshipping Allah. We gather together with our families, we make this a time for us to reflect, spend more time reflecting on ourselves, increase in our ibadah, in our dhikr, in our remembrance of Allah, and really reflect over our lives and everything that's going on around us. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He very, very quickly He allows us to come back to our masajid. He allows us to meet one another, and during this difficult time He helps all of those, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, all of those that are struggling, that are afflicted by this. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He lifts this from us, and that He makes this a source of mercy for us. And we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His wisdom is superior. His wisdom is something that we cannot comprehend, and so we are happy with what Allah Azza wa Jal has decreed for us. And at this difficult time, please remember us, the entire community, the entire world, and everyone that is struggling in your du'as. Inshallah, myself and Mufti Asif, we will be doing a number of programs, inshallah, via our YouTube and Facebook page, inshallah. So please stay tuned, inshallah, and we will try our best to give something to the community, inshallah. Even if we're not able to congregate in the masjid, inshallah, we can take advantage of the technology, inshallah, give something to you all, inshallah, over the next few weeks, inshallah. And once, inshallah, things change, it will be announced, inshallah, and you all will be notified. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.